told you we're going to have a series of gender-based violence issues. We're going to now this time engage young people, the future leaders of this country, on what we should do to end violence, but literally look at the effects this has on the child that's growing. If you're a parent and you're fighting with your wife, what does the kid think? What is the effect of this on the children as they grow up? So if you're at home and you want to be a part of this, go to our Facebook page, like it, tweet us, send us a text on your phone, 6565.
What do you all understand by the term gender-based violence? How do you understand the word gender-based violence? Yes?
Gender-based violence is kind of mistreatment carried out in the communities, families, and sometimes in the school.
Okay, who else?
I think gender-based violence refers to some quarrels and fights between a man and a woman and some people in the community.
Okay, yes.
I think gender-based violence is a violent way of settling disputes either in the family or the communities.
Good. What are those examples of violent ways? You can give us examples. Someone else, yes?
Quarreling between the husband and the wife.
Hey, but speak loud there.
Quarreling between the husband and the wife.
Child battering and both parents.
Have you seen it happening?
Yes.
Give us an example.
This is when my aunt had cooked a lot of food at home. The children were eating the food. But my uncle came here, drank marua. So he came and stepped on the portion. They started to fight with the children. How do you use my money? I had spared it for drinking my marua for the next day. How come you have used it to cook the food?
How many children are at home?
He has only 3 children, but one is a young baby.
Okay. Any other examples? Yes.
Like there was a man near home. He had 5 children. Now he bought 1 kilogram of meat. He cut it in pieces.
Himself?
Yeah. And he counted. Gave the woman that no one should test. But now the children were also angry because their mother had no food.
Yes.
And now when you test, they'll cane you. So it is not good.
Oh, any other examples we know? Yes.
There's an example I have. When I was at home one day, we were there seated after breakfast. So our neighbor had 3 children. The husband was a soldier. No, but we are still in Kampala. No, this husband of hers went to this is a certain place, not Bombo, but she went to dance. He went to dance with another woman.
To a club, eh?
Yes.
To disco.
Yes. He danced, then he came back at midnight. Got the wife asleep. So when he came back, the wife woke up and said that, "What is wrong, my husband? Why have you come back at this time of the night?" The husband just answered that, "Don't worry. Why do you want to mind of everything? Why do you want to be concerned of everything?" So they slept. Now the following morning, they woke up. Then they started fighting. They fought. Now one child woke up, then said that, "Mommy, what is wrong? What is taking place?" She went and woke up all the friends. No, they came here to save their mother. So one went and picked a mangling stick and started beating the father also. Now the father started saying that, "Why are you beating me? Please leave me, my children. I love you." As they were beating the father. So when they were beating the father, people started gathering around.
So the parents started fighting and the children also joined in and fought. How does this make you feel when you see adults involved in violence? How do you feel? You who is looking? Yes. Yes.
For me, I think what she is trying to say is psychological torture. That's the way she would be feeling. And that thing there will not make her concentrate. And then another one also is that she will become worried every time. How is my mother at home? How is my father at home? So now it will not make her hands settle. So she may at times begin crying during the lesson.
Do you have friends who you study with whose parents fight a lot and they are at school with you?
Or do your parents fight a lot?
Yes. What do you see how they are behaving?
I just have a friend. When I tell her how my parents behave at home, my parents like one another, but when she doesn't want to pay school fees. Her mom goes on selling nuts in town. But even at times, the dad steals the mother's money. The dad uses it for drinking marua, for going. He spends it around with other women, the money of the woman.
Right.
So this woman here comes, she cries for the money, what? But when this child is at school, normally she's just at home for school fees. So she also feels bad. She feels like being with us at school, but she's always just at home.
Right. So, Mesa, you have a
really
massive problem on your hands.
I really have an example to give. Like, immediately teach primary 1. My child came and told me, teacher, they were just there because I like making fun with them. Say, teacher, do you know what? Mommy was fighting with daddy. You know, fighting. And then daddy threw mommy down. So he was really feeling bad. How can you, when you fight a man and a woman, you see the nakedness you can expose to the children, and it makes children feel very bad. So it is very bad really to fight before the kids. That can bring shame to them.
What do you think we have to do, adults have to do to stop this violence so that we reduce?
The government, I think the government should sentence all the people who beat their wives, defile children, and rape others to be sentenced to life imprisonment.
Okay.
I think they should implement government policies. A big man of 20 years defiles a young girl of 4 years. That man should be sentenced to life imprisonment.
Okay, yes.
Within families, father and mother should have peace talks to solve the problems.
Let me ask you something. Have you had times when your parents were quarreling and they, everything just stopped and they sat down and talked about what their problem was?
Yes. It was our neighbor in Lira here. They fought. Then the woman said that, please, you cannot stop there, it's enough. So they started calling everyone for a meeting. So the wife told the husband that, please, my husband, ask for forgiveness so that these people can forgive us, so that they may know that our family is really
strong.
Yes.
Fantastic. I want you to tell me some of the other things that you see that are being done, as far as gender-based violence is concerned, what you have seen in your community. Yes.
Men cheating, their women, all women cheating their husbands. Like a certain man, like a certain woman was cheating the husband. So the man was traveling, to Kampala the following day. The man told the woman that they need me for work at 6 tomorrow. So the man pretended, the neighbors had already alerted the man that your wife cheats on you. So the man did not go very far, so came back and then found a man at home. Then they divorced.
Wow. Yes.
I think other relatives sometimes defile young girls. Like my friend told me a story that once she was left alone with her cousin. So the cousin wanted to defile her, but she managed to escape.
Okay, all these things, what solutions can we have for these problems? He had given us a solution that they should give them life imprisonment. What other workable solutions do you think can
For
be?
me, I think that when a husband and wife fights for the first time, they should first of all be talked to, then after that they should warn them never to do it again. So when they do it for the second time, one of them should be arrested for life imprisonment.
Okay.
Me, I think that more powers should be added to women in order to control, because women, they care for children more than men.
Yes.
So that's what I think.
First of all,
gender-based violence can affect children in this way. One, once there is conflict at home, children get psychological torture. Both youth and children get psychological torture. Another one, it brings in shame. Like if you have friends out there and then they hear that your father, your mother is fighting time and again and all that, automatically you'll be having such a fear. You'll be ashamed because your friends will not feel your home is a place to stay in. How youth and children can end gender-based violence. One, both youth and children should have a say if there is any conflict at home. You should bring all the parents together, both your father and your mother. Sit them down and tell them what you're doing is not okay with me. Let us sensitize people out there about equality. By the way, there's one thing people do not know. If you say both men and women are equal, then that is general. One way of solving conflicts in a peaceful way is by talking. Let's sit down as men and women, youth and children, and try to settle down conflicts in a peaceful way by sensitizing and then talking to the people out there. If you can sit someone down and talk to someone and tell the person, you know what, this thing is not okay. What if we do it like A, B, C, and D? I think someone can understand it better. I think we will have settled conflicts in a very peaceful way.
Joyce, now, you have seen what's going on here. And probably the system is different, way different from what is happening in the East. Or some of the problems may be the same. But at the leadership level of an organization that is working, you know, when it comes to gender-based violence, what does this show?
No, after I've heard the various testimonies from the children, it's very worrisome, and it's serious concern that the parents as well as society should show. Because research has shown that children who witnessed domestic violence end up abusing their spouses. And this is very, very serious. And what I also think is that, as the teachers have already shared, the school has a very important role, because that's the only space, a safe space for children to come and talk about defilement, about abuses and etc. And I think the other thing is the school curriculum to seriously talk about these issues, so that when children know more about it, they are more aware. And especially with the parents, I don't know the culture within Lira district, but then there should be some sort of organization, some sort of community groups who talk to parents about these issues. And it's wrong to fight in front of children.
Yeah.
You're promoting violence,
right.
And that's how children learn how to do violence.
Right.
So that's what I think.
So I'm also having a view.
Yes.
Let us say, okay, I would suggest like NGOs like you, let's form what we call non-violence ways of solving conflicts. So if you can form that, okay, beginning with if they have talked about patriotism second, let primary have what we call non-violent way of solving problems.
You at the school, are you trying to help these children?
I am a counselor. Yes. And that's why I've known a lot about them.
Right. So you know most of these
children. They take me to home and I resolve conflicts.
Right. We need to work on this. And today we have got
St. Chizito
Nursery and Primary School, and we're engaging. And if you're at home and you want to be a part of this too, please go to our Facebook page, Minibuzz Uganda, like it, and tweet us at Minibuzz Uganda. You can also send us a text, 6565. Remember, the 16 days of activism are still going on. There's men's camps, screening for women,
youth camps.
Yes, youth camps. Men and women discussing about ways on how to reduce violence against women. It's not just in Uganda, it's happening in all the other countries of the Great Lakes region.